All right. So,
That should be interesting.
hi everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Well, hi everyone. Welcome to the TAS Report.
I'm Jared Wilkinson.
And I'm Allie Force.
This is our video sort of update that we want to do bi-weekly or every week or whenever we get an idea to talk about what we're doing, the projects we've got going on, and sometimes topics we just think would be funny to talk about.
The reason why we decided to start this week, we wanted to start off with a bang, was because this week is the week of Soulfest. It's a great big Christian music event. There's all sorts of stuff that happens there. It's not just Christian music. There'll be a bunch of organizations that are there. It's huge. And we've gone, how many years? Since sophomore year of high school?
Yeah, probably.
And we've been out of high school for a while now.
5, 6 years? No.
5 years.
5 years.
5 years. It's a 4-day event. It's huge. They get all sorts of musicians. Toby Mac, DC Talk's been there, Skillet. They've had Demon Hunter, I think, at least one time, but not when we were there, right?
I don't know. I think that everybody sort of says Demon Hunter needs to go. I don't think they've ever gone. But they get a lot of new bands, too.
Yeah, a ton of new bands.
And especially on it's called the Inside Out stage, but it's basically the metal stage.
Or the music that the music that doesn't have Jesus per minute.
Right.
You know, like it's the non-mom stage.
Yeah.
So it's
a
great event. We meet a whole bunch of people we love there. We meet a whole bunch of bands we love there.
Yep.
And this was actually the site of both of us falling in love with the two bands that we're going to be seeing this weekend.
That's right. Is that where you learned about Project 86?
I learned about Project 86 on YouTube, but when I saw them live was when I made the decision that these guys were solid guys. So, anyhow, so because of just a whole bunch of things that are going on this year, we don't have the time or really the means to go for all 4 days. So we had to make a decision what day we want to go, and I insisted that Project 86 was the day we were going, and it worked out that playing on that same day was War of Ages.
To be fair, we've driven to Pennsylvania.
12-hour trip.
It is 5:30 in the morning. We're in Connecticut somewhere.
We're not quite sure. And we're on the road towards New York City. Tom hates us. Neither Jared nor I brought supplies for if it rains really hard.
I have a hoodie.
Oh, good. If I have to listen to you eat that on the way,
I'm gonna eat this so loud. Going on 2 hours. I was just driving. I'm thinking, man, I just want to eat a cookies and cream bar so loud right now.
I let you sleep.
I'm not gonna.
I let him sleep while I drove. I had nothing to keep me company.
If anybody needs a wife, mine's up for grabs. Oh, here's my iPod.
Well, with traffic, it's probably 12. But either way, we went explaining to the authorities there were other bands, but really it was just to see Project 86.
Yeah.
Because Allie demanded that we go. So we drove down there.
Well, we'll have a Project 86 episode somewhere in the future where we delve deeper into that.
Is it going to be a 3-part episode? Because it's going to be difficult to fit it all in.
Shut up.
Yeah, let's talk about these bands. Let's talk about why we like these bands. Why is it that these two got us to go to 1 day of Soulfest and then come back? Because they're so good.
Okay, so
respectively, we're wearing the band's t-shirts.
This is my exclusive t-shirt that I got for backing their Kickstarter project.
I think mine is from around Arise and Conquer, which is like their
That's a good shirt. It's a solid shirt.
Yeah, it's their shirts. By the way, if you're ever in the mood for super tight chest concaving shirts, go to War of Ages website and buy those.
Looks so
like
good,
a really weak boa constrictor is strangling my chest.
How did you witness them at Soulfest, and how did that affect the rest of your life?
The way I find new bands at Soulfest is I go to the big lineup poster and look at the names and say, that sounds like a cool name, and then go to their show. I looked up on the board and saw War of Ages, and this was when, like, Allie and I aren't always together at Soulfest. Sometimes she's off, like, looking at a merch booth or, swimming, and I'm, looking at a concert or getting food. So I saw War of Ages up on the big, just the name. I have no idea who they are. And said, that seems like a cool name, and went up to watch the show, and I was just standing back, like it's like a big field that you stand in, the stages at the other end. I could have moved forward, but I was just sort of waiting for Allie watching the show. And they were playing Battle On off of Fire from the Tomb, which was their second album, their sophomore album. and it was really good. And I was like, oh, these guys are good. Check them out. And then they played my favorite, Broken Before You. And those were the only two I saw. This must have been before Arise and Conquer. And
What makes you say that?
Because otherwise I would have walked up and they would be playing All Consuming Fire. They're 2 albums ahead, but come on, All Consuming Fire is great. I said, oh yeah, that was pretty good. You know what, Allie, I think I'm going to buy a CD from the band War of Ages. And then I bought Fire from the Tomb and listened to it. Now my favorite band, like, awesome, this was awesome, you know, like this band is now one of my favorites of all time. And they didn't come to Soulfest for like the next 3 years. And it was that one, like, oh, my favorite band, like one of my favorite bands, metal bands. And I don't get to watch them because I stepped out. I should have stayed. I should have saw the rest of the show. It was awesome. And now immediately have signed a contract with myself that I'll buy every War of Ages CD that comes out. Is there a new one coming out? I don't know, but if there is, I'll buy it.
So I would like to share something about Project 86.
Sure.
I think we saw them our sophomore year of high school, was it? One year we saw them at Soulfest, and then a week later saw them at Purple
That's
Door.
right, we followed them.
That's the 10-hour drive. And there was actually this moment when we saw them and like we were in line for autographs where Andrew Schwab looked up into my eyes and said, "Hey,
hey, what's?"
I saw you several states away from here."
My beard's gotten bigger somehow. Like, what? Have you just been living in your car waiting for me for the past week?
These are my 2 books that I bought by Andrew Schwab. This is Fame is Infamy, and this is It's All Downhill from Here. These are 2 of the, I think, 5 books that he's written. You should go out and buy all of them.
Everyone.
I'll post a link to his...
They're not very long books. Like,
No, they're not. This is how long it is.
Yeah, you can get through it.
This. I don't know where the Tin Soldiers is, but it's actually... It was a book that he wrote that was actually like for young Christian men, but he didn't say it was boys only, like women could read too, so I bought it.
Allie can't read this.
Every time we see them, since I bought it, I have Andrew Schwab sign it. Here's how many times he signed this one. I don't know, it's like, it makes it look like we haven't seen him that many times, because I only have 3 signatures in them.
No, he's said it before, though, hasn't he? Hasn't he, like, looked it up and he goes, do you get it signed every time? And you say, yeah, and he goes, that's awesome.
When I first started listening to him, I was like, alright, it's going to be a band that is catchy, but has no substance to their lyrics. And it's not even that they're the opposite of that. They're not only catchy, but have insanely heavy, powerful, just, like,
for sure,
mind-blowing lyrics.
Something I love about Project 86, that I think something that Allie latches onto is everything. Not everything is the same story, but so much of it is connected, and I really like that. Like, he references the last album and the next one, and there's a story to a lot of his songs. There's a story to the albums, you know, like Truthless Heroes is the one with the whole thing is basically a concept album. Right?
It could pretty much be a comic book. I wish it was a comic book. Please make it a comic book.
Hey, make it a comic. Allie's doing her nails. I don't know why.
When is not a good time to do your nails?
I don't know. I have never done them, so never, I guess.
You're missing out.
Let me say something about War of Ages, by the way.
Say something about War of Ages.
Say
words of ages.
We can put anywhere in the video, but I can't believe you did it. But Steve Brown, you are one of the greatest guitar players of the modern Christian metal scene. You might, I really like your stuff. His solos aren't, I've been listening to him, and his solos aren't just like shreddy and awesome. They're really melodic and have like a great texture to them.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, and obviously coming up with some of the best, hooks that you can sing. It's one of those metal bands that you can sing the guitar line, I think. Yeah.
I'm not going to do it right now, but...
No, I won't either.
Don't do it. How's that tea treating you?
Anything else you want to say about Project 86 or War of Ages?
Oh, I want to say so much about Project 86.
We'll have the Project 86 episode
Do you
later.
promise?
Yeah.
But whenever I listen to their live album they put out, I get the adrenaline rush that I get while I'm at a Project 86 concert. It's very well engineered. You hear it well. He is a good vocalist, and the musicians on it are fantastic musicians. I say pick it up, listen to that. just get online, look at them. I will post links to their website down here somewhere. Just treat yourself, and then go to a concert when you finally can.
Also, I think part of the reason that we talk so much about their ability, just straight up, and their writing, is shake that one. I think part of what I can't stand you. We're talking a lot about their writing and their abilities, but I do want to make a point that these are great Christian artists too. Like all of their lyrics, all like these guys, their testimonies. They're not just plugging in lyrics like faking it, trying to get attention. Like they are really at the core of it. You can sense it in their music. Outside of that, it's also just awesome music, which is why it appeals to a bunch of people.
What I love about Prodigy 6 and probably War of Ages is there's a difference between a band that decides, I'm going to make it my business to sing to Christians with Christian lyrics, and that, like, making me eligible for, to work with certain labels and to be on Christian radio, whatever.
Yep.
Then there are people who are Christians who sing about their lives and the way that their morals affect their lives. Yeah, like, you can tell the difference. Prodigy 6, like, Andrew Schwab has he's the writer of all the lyrics. He has very strong convictions. He has very strong paranoias. He has very strong opinions, and his faith is also, it's equally strong to those. So all of that comes into his lyrics. And that's the feeling I get about War of Ages. Yeah. It's the feeling I get about Prodigy 6. They are very sincere people. We've met them in real life. They're awesome. They're loving. They really make you feel just welcome. They have that evangelical spirit about them, which is a big deal to me.
Right. I think that's what's really appealing to this generation about this style of music. That's part of the reason it's so appealing is because of the sincerity of the lyrics. I think maybe the way it's presented puts people off, but it's not just about. It's got a positive spin on real problems, like real negative problems that are going on, feeling like weak or paranoid about something, and Project 86 lyrics are a lot about that, and then they put a great, use the power of a great song, great melody behind it, and it makes awesome sauce.
It makes awesome sauce.
So, we'll see you next time, and we'll
bring back footage. We're going to bring a camera with us to Purple Door. I mean, sorry, Soulfest. Rest in peace, Purple Door. It is done. It's done.
No! All right, so I'm Jared Wilkinson.
James Wilkinson.
You can find me at Jared James Wilkinson on Facebook. You can find some of my music there.
Look for the musicians page. He has his name, and he also has his musicians page.
If you Google Jared James Wilkinson Facebook, I'm the first thing that comes up. Or I should be around, because apparently nobody else has a name. So, Tumblr. My Tumblr. You can follow The Rude Mechanical, and if you look that up, there's probably a bunch of stuff, like my Xbox Live and all that. You can follow the
Don't look at my Xbox Live, please don't.
Peter Put Away Your Sword on YouTube.com, and search for the Waste of Film sketches that me and my friend Peter Tracy do.
He'll be on here later.
And he'll be on at some point, I'm sure.
Our friend Rob will be on here at some point.
And that's what I'm doing right now. Yep.
And if you want to find me at Facebook, I'm Alexandra P4 is on Facebook. Come be my friend. I'm lonely. But Never Destroyed, at But Never Destroyed on Twitter. It's BUTNVR Destroyed. Right. Because But Never Destroyed doesn't fit. Yeah. You can find me on Tumblr, But Never Destroyed at tumblr.com.
You can follow The Rude Mechanical at Tumblr, that's me, and you can also follow Music Cynic, which I've written some reviews and funny things about different musical things, especially Repo, the Genetic Opera. I wrote a review of that.
Should we plug Robert's Twitter?
Rob's not on this episode. He can come on and plug.
Rob, come on this episode.
Yeah.
Come on in episode.
Come on, come on,
Rob. Come on,
you
Rob.
You can do it. Just believe.
We'll do a flashback to that later.
Yeah, it's all wavy. All right, so we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for joining us on the TAS.
The TAS report. The TAS episode.
I said TAS update.
Let's do it again.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the TAS report. Bye. Yeah, okay.